And so I do admire folks in Hollywood and sports who do care about politics and who have a libertarian bent. Folks like Vince Vaughn, because he can get a lot of heat for coming out for the Second Amendment, so that means he's a real man who cares more about principles than just being famous. And I would like to admire you. I just have never seen anything out of you but dumb arrogance. Whatever you do, Shaq, don't drink fluoride water and don't give your kids inoculations. Care about your family, at least. Don't trust the system. You know, I bet you're not as stupid as you act. You probably already know all this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with the Hillary Clinton clips and more. I'm Alex Jones. We'll hear what Hillary has to say about the TPP. Stay with us. Well, the Supreme Court has come out and struck down a state law saying that you got to talk to folks about how big the baby is, basically give them an ultrasound. That's a North Carolina law. The voice of opposition passed. Justice Kennedy may save Obamacare. It's back up again before the Supreme Court because so many parts of it are obviously illegal. But they'll certify anything now. We have a criminal takeover. We don't have an elite that wants prosperity and wants to just skim off the top of that. They want it all. They want control. They've got a score to settle with the bitter clingers. They want to break and conquer the American people. Before I go any further, we are listener supported by the very, very highest quality products you're going to find anywhere, whether it's shortwave radios, Patriot apparel, books, films, nutraceuticals. We had run out of Survival Shield X2. The laboratory had a small amount left. That came in last Thursday. It will sell out very, very soon. Our thyroids and other glands are full of bad halogens. Fluoride, chlorine, bromide, bromine. It's all there. This gets into your thyroid and keeps those from continuing to build up. And quite frankly, a lot of evidence shows pushes them out. That can feel pretty bad the first month. Consult a physician. This is hardcore. Changes the chemistry, basically, your whole body. I lost tons of weight, so much more energy when I religiously take it. And we're running out of the deep earth crystals. Nobody else gets them from mined sources. We do. That's why it's the cleanest, purest out there. InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. And we've got 20% off on the ProPure as well. Let's go ahead and go to Hillary Clinton's disgusting announcement telling us what we all already knew, that she's running for president. And if you're not for that, you're against grandma. Here is Hillary Clinton.
You brought our country back. Now it's time, your time, to secure the gains and move ahead.
Hit pause.
And you know what?
She talks to them in this slow cadence like you talk to a dog or you talk to a 2-year-old. You brought the country back, electing the Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. You. And these people just want to sit there and feel like they're important. An important person is telling me I'm important. She's feeding on you idiots. It's incredible. Let's just go back to the clip.
America can't succeed unless you succeed.
Hit pause again. You ever heard cult leaders talk? All over the world, they have this saying, you know why you're here? Come into the cult. Release yourself. I mean, this is Jim Jones stuff. I can't even look at her. God, she's going to be president. Or I got to look at Jeb Bush. I may have to leave. I just can't handle it anymore. Oh, please. Okay, I can't look at it. Just go ahead and play her. I'm not going to look at her, though. Go ahead and play her.
That is why I am running for president of the United States.
Oh, listen to the lecturing. It's like a robot talking.
I'm running to make our economy work for you and for every American. Now, there may be some new voices in the presidential Republican choir.
Hit pause. We've got to do a whole new report on this is Delphi Technique / NLP. I mean, she definitely is trying to trance people like a robot. And that's not even her voice. And you notice when she goes to Kentucky, though, she goes, "How you doing there? Good to have you with me." Ooh. Because the anthropology shows that'll put them into a trance. That's that grandma talk. "I'm here to take care of you. How'd you like some possum pie today?" I mean, this talks to Latino. She's like, "Hello, would you like..." Talking to Hispanic crowds, very patronizing. Talking to them in a fake, whatever a Hispanic voice is. And then we've got her talking to people in Kentucky going, "How you doing there?" I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. "I'm going to have the possum today." And then now, when she talks to a bunch of women, because all the photos are like women behind her and women like, "We're coming." Oh, it's so creepy. Bunch of dumb fluoride head socialist women already wrecked the country, turned their kids into little spineless wrecks. Now they're going to bring us down. When the whole society collapses and everybody's starving in the streets, these people are going to blame us, not themselves. That's how scummy they are. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying, her real voice is, "What difference does it make? What the..." Yeah. That's how she really talks. So we need to do a compilation, discovering the real voice of Hillary. The truth is, I just hate women. It's not that I don't want to turn my guns in. It's not that I don't love Obamacare that totally cheats me. It's not that I'm upset about her being a criminal and all the deaths and Vince Foster and Cattlegate and Benghazi and Fast and Furious and her foundation being one of the most corrupt ever mainline foundation groups say it is. Money from dictators for weapons, lying about all these wars, blowing up Serbia, lying about being shot at in, on a C-130. It's not that. It's that I hate women. It's true. I've just got to own up to it. Let's go back to her in this weird mind control, like if aliens landed. "We have come here to assimilate you. We come in peace." Let's go back to her literally talking to her brain-dead audience. She knows her audience are unconscious, in trance, fluoride heads. This is how they talk to their victims.
Same old song.
Same old song.
A song called Yesterday.
A song called Yesterday. Creepy. Look at her smiling at her victims.
I stood up to adversaries like
I can't look at this.
Reinforced
Oh my
allies
God, this
like
woman.
Israel, and I was in the Situation Room on the day we got Bin Laden.
Oh, more bull, more fairy tales. The day we got Bin Laden.
It is way past time to end the outrage of so many women still earning less than men on the job.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at those idiots in the audience. It's so
and
stupid.
Women of color often making even less.
Oh, like the black unemployment doubling under Obama?
Do your part. You reap the rewards.
Oh, yeah.
Where we don't leave
I don't want to hear anymore.
Out.
Turn it off. Earlier, though, that slow droning, that's mind control. Let's go out to break with part of her promising to battle the rich fat cats that she's totally funded by more than anybody. Let's go to that clip.
You have to wonder, when does my hard work pay off? When does my family get ahead? When? I say now.
I say now. I say now. I'm bossy.
Prosperity can't just be for CEOs and hedge fund managers. Democracy can't just be for billionaires and corporations.
With her manager, meaning
Prosperity and democracy are part of your basic bargain, too.
So you can vote to be screwed over worse.
Our country back. Now it's time. It's your time to secure the game.
You want your country back. You ran it for 8 years with your husband. Now you've run it for 7 years with Obama. And now you're back acting like you're not the establishment? I mean, and they've got just endless armies of victims. And they're going to say, well, what are you going to do, vote for Jeb Bush? No, I'm not voting for any of them. It's all a backroom deal. It's all a big joke. I mean, man, I'm not kidding. I look at Hillary, I feel claustrophobic. I mean, I don't want to cover her for 8 years. I don't want to look at her. Can't she just go crawl back in the hole she came out of? I mean, that's it. I mean, having the Clintons climb back from under their rock is really sick. is the only outfit that still has 5, 10 million listeners a day on some of these giant shows. 16 to 18 million listeners total just in North America. Think about it. Top shows on TV have like 5 million viewers, maybe 10 million. The Super Bowl, 70 million. That's why it's the biggest thing around. Imagine me and George Noory with 7, 8 million listeners a night, 16 to 20 million a week, not counting the internet. That's exciting. I've got 3 million listeners a day, and it just absolutely is a huge responsibility. And tens of millions every week or so just on YouTube alone. That's what's exciting. We still, though, kind of like even when I was a man and bigger than my dad when I was a teenager, I still looked at him and he looked bigger to me. And I remember suddenly when my mother, who always looked big to me, suddenly looked little. It's like a flip in your mind. And somehow we look at mainstream media, corporate broadcast TV, cable, and we think of it as powerful and big because they have fancy sets. Well, we just built a fancy set too. Are the same guys that built Fox News studios. We can do that. So we've got the audience to match Fox, and we've got the studio to do it. So it's all optics, ladies and gentlemen. Now, to be clear, Fox has as many viewers and listeners as I do, basically 18 hours of the day. So Fox is obviously much bigger than InfoWars. But that's in the aggregate, not my show itself. And look, I'm not up here bragging at the start of this hour about how big my audience is. I'm simply pointing out that 500 major newspapers went out of business in 2014. The others are in free fall. Broadcast TV, cable is in deep trouble. And it's not just because of more choices and competition. It's because mainstream media has been caught lying and carrying the water for special interest and others for so long, people see through it. What is the establishment thinking putting up a Hillary Clinton, who's basically been running the Obama administration for 7 years, was in office for 8 years, and then running the Bushes when they've had 3 administrations as well? This is crazy. 2 administrations of Obama, 2 of the Clintons. That's 4 administrations, and the Bushes have had 3. Bush Sr., Bush 41, had 1, and then Jr. had 2. Regardless of what you think, as the senator said, I forget who said it, the presidency is not a crown to pass back and forth. People are sick of it. And everybody heard MSNBC say Obamacare was free. Then they said it was cutting your prices. Then they said you could keep your doctor. Then they said there were no death panels. And now all of it's come out. Now we know for over a year, veterans are on secret don't treat list. Speaking of veterans, George Noory is also a veteran of the Navy, 3-time Emmy Award winner for TV news production. And, of course, came up from the bottom in talk radio to have the #1 show in his city. And then, of course, be picked up and syndicated nationwide. And he's the guy that had the courage to put me on Coast to Coast first to talk to their 16 to 20 million listeners. And that certainly helped get the info war out to another level as well. And again, I really admire people like Vince Vaughn that had the will to come out against the globalists and for the Second Amendment. And again, I mean, this is how we're going to take things back. And in the beginning, a patriot is a scarce man, hated, feared, and scorned. But when his cause succeeds, the timid join him, because then it costs nothing to be a patriot, and that is George Noory. And again, folks, I don't get most guests on and laud them for 5 minutes before they come on. I don't do this a lot with George either. We have to really sit back and think about the risk everybody's taken to tell the truth. I mean, I loved Art Bell. Great guy. Riveting voice, super smart. But George Noory took the show and changed the degree of it about 100 degrees. Not 180, not 160, but about 100 degrees towards hardcore patriot, anti-New World Order, exposing vaccines. He would just read the vaccine insert on air. He was the first on mainline talk radio to really start to fight so much tyranny. And I can just count how many victories we've had that George Noory was the detonator of with his audience. And his audience deserves the credit as well. But I think we should celebrate leaders who support freedom. It's not about left or right. It's about being sane.